That's what I needed. Good. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. This is Pamela Marie Edmunds, and this is Love Never Dies radio show. I am a medium. I am the host of this show. I'm a teacher, and I am also a healer. And I just want to let you know that we are thrilled that you are here with us tonight. Welcome, everyone, as you show up. We had a couple little technical difficulties, but it shouldn't interfere with us now. We finally got it. So if you'll just mute your mic for the moment, please. Thank you. And Love Never Dies is being broadcast to you from the Red Rocks of Sedona, Arizona. And if you've never visited out here, it would be something to put on your bucket list. Really, really, truly would be. If you're walking a spiritual path, it would be an awesome experience. The energy's high, great experiences, beautiful scenery around. On it goes. So for all those of you, if you're interested in knowing a little more about this show sometime, say you tuned in tonight and then you want to tune in again in another week or so, and you says, wait a minute, how do I get into the Zoom room? Well, that information is on my website for anybody who needs it. It's also amongst the Facebook announcements that I post. But the easiest thing is my website, PamelaMarieEdmunds.com, okay? And it'll tell you who our guests are, who's coming up, etc. Another good place for you to check out is my YouTube station. Excuse me, I like to call it station. YouTube channel, excuse me. And my YouTube channel is my name, middle name, last name. And that's where this particular show, any of the other shows that we broadcast, will be put in the way of an archives for you to listen to later on. And please, if you enjoy listening to some of the recordings that are there, because there are other recordings there too, please subscribe. That way you're informed of new and upcoming shows. Okay, or upcoming recordings is what I like to say. So tonight, I have a wonderful guest. I'm talking to you from Sedona, Arizona. Let me see. Our guest is going to be talking to us from Sarasota, Florida. Oh, we got the S's there, don't we? That's interesting. Yeah. And then I just want to say the couple of listeners we have, I know one's from Boston and another one from Maine. So that's one of the things I like about doing these shows, is you get people from all over the country. And using it with the Zoom app, yeah, once in a while there's a little bit of a technical difficulty. But we were helped, we got through it. And now we can see each person who wants to be seen and heard. So Carolan Carey, I'm going to briefly, let's see, Carolan Carey is a psychic medium. She also is a radio show host. That's an important deal. And can you give us the title of your show, please?
In the Psychic Flow.
Perfect. Great. And we can let you talk more about that as we get going here.
Sure.
I know you're also a teacher. Mm-hmm. I also know that you're an animal lover. You got a kitty cat that's curled up there somewhere, right? Just as I have one, he's right over here. Can you add, please, to your bio? I know there's several other things I'd like to add there, but I think I'm hitting the highlights for you, dear.
Okay. I have had a radio show on Society Bites Network for about a year. That was over a year ago. And then I switched to Goldilocks Productions, which you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, pretty much everywhere, Spreaker. So I switched there, and we initially were radio, so which I kind of liked because you could do it in your pajamas. Well, then we switched to video.
Like we have.
Now I have to put makeup on to be on video. So it's a little bit of a change, but I've been doing it, I guess, almost a year. And it's kind of fun. I like the format. My format is that we explore everything between the magical and the mystical and everything in between.
Okay.
Wellness, paranormal, psychic. I do mini readings. I have guests on, that kind of thing. We talk about a lot of subjects. So if you're looking, you can look at my Facebook page. The link to the latest show is there. My website is carolancarey.com.
Yes,
And the
that was
last show is on there. So you can see last week's show on there.
wonderful. Thank
And
you. That's
on
exactly what.
Facebook, you can join us live. And it's not quite like this. It's you join us in a green room and you type your questions and they come up on the side and I read them and who wants a reading and blah, blah, blah. And that's how we do readings on that show. So it's kind of fun.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, in these times, we got to use whatever works best for us.
Right.
Okay. And Love Never Dies is actually the second show that I've personally been doing. The other previous one was Bridge Between Two Worlds. And I stepped away from it because as we grow and change, you know, aspects of who we are have to change too. So that's okay.
Right.
But tonight we're going to do a show titled Holiday Memories Past. Here we are, December 2nd, and we are in the midst of the holidays. We just had Thanksgiving, and let's see, Hanukkah comes up. We also going to have Christmas. There's also the winter solstice comes up.
I wanted to show you what's on the back of my card.
Please put it a little closer if you can to your screen.
It says Love Never Dies.
I love it.
On the back of my business card. And I've had that for a few years.
Well, I chuckle because I took on Love Never Dies, more than a year now. It's probably been a year and a half or so, a couple years. And when you and I connected here for tonight's show, we both have been friends on Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But I was being told by my guides that the person who was going to fill this spot was around me. So I reached out to two different people, and apparently Spirit wanted me to make sure I connected with these two people to bring them on the show another time, but they weren't available for tonight. And I know. Yeah. You sent me an email. You sent me a message. And whenever I saw it, I says, okay, this is the one. It was almost like I had to do the other two steps first before I would be led to you. So anyway, I just love it. I love it. So Carolan, how did you get into doing this work? That's an important piece here of our show tonight.
Well, we had chatted prior to the show, and you had talked about some guests that have some remarkable stories about how they discovered their skills and abilities.
Yes.
Mine wasn't that remarkable, to be honest. I was a Reiki master, I had done that through like 3 states. And I moved here from Pennsylvania, moved to Sarasota, Florida from Pennsylvania. And I was almost 50, I guess, or about 50 years old. And I was going to massage school. That's why I moved down here.
Oh.
Then so I've completed that. And because I figured it would go with my Reiki master, training, blah, blah, blah. And I attended a service here at a small church, and there were 2 gentlemen giving messages from the platform. And I said, that's what I want to do. So I studied with them. They had almost a 2-year course with them and worked for the church. And I'm still working for them, actually. I'm an assistant minister now.
Ooh,
but there wasn't anything remarkable about learning, except that it was so exciting to me. I mean, I took to it like a duck takes to water. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Didn't realize I was psychic. I really didn't. So I really didn't walk into this until I was about 52. So, and I'm going to be 65 this month. So.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm a year older than you. Okay. So what I would like to say is everyone is psychic. Everyone does have the ability to be a medium. It's just a matter of them refining those skills.
Yes.
And I want to say a big piece is trusting them.
Mhm.
That's huge. That is huge. So, Carolan, holiday memories past.
Yeah.
How is that title important to our subject at hand here tonight? Love never dies.
Well,
Communicating with the spirit world.
I think this is the time of year, I would say, that I think we miss our loved ones all the time, but I think it really brings it home during the holidays, whatever holidays that are significant to you. It could be Hanukkah or whatever holidays for you. But to me, it feels like um, my limited experience of it. I have most of my family is gone. So you kind of get numb to it a little bit, but there are moments that get to you. And it could be unwrapping the ornaments, to decorate, put on the tree, and you'll be like, oh, my mom always loved that, or putting out something, a centerpiece or something, or maybe it's a visit to the cemetery, maybe you're laying a wreath or something, and it will come flooding back. But also what I particularly like, and I teach students and anybody that really wants to kind of jumpstart, is psychometry, the art of psychometry. If you're holding something that is an heirloom or something that has memory attached to it, and you start getting those memories, you're tapping into spirit there.
Yeah,
And you can go further. So it's not by coincidence that these
exactly.
emotions and memories flood us. So I think it's a really good time for people to connect. I'm busy at this time of the year, as I'm sure you are. People are missing their families in spirit and they want to connect. And we all have a purpose to be here without our child, without our parent, without our brother, our sister, our spouse. We all still have a purpose after we've lost someone, but it's not an easy road. And we all know that. And if mediumship can help you with that,
Right.
that's the purpose. That's the spirit of it, I would say. That's how I look
Wonderful.
at it.
That's wonderful, Carolan. That's exactly right. And one other piece that I'd like to just add to, may I add a little tidbit to what you just said, is these memories come up.
Mhm.
Doesn't that memory often turn into the energy of spirit? You started saying that. Spirit, all of a sudden, what you're thinking in your head is spirit communicating with you or giving you some sort of information to help continue that memory on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because often during a reading,
Yep.
as you know, spirit shares memory. They'll share memories with you. So that validates who you're speaking with, who the medium is speaking with. That's one of the ways that they validate, is they
Exactly.
will send a memory and to me, and then I'll be relaying the memory, and the sitter will go, oh yes, that's exactly what happened. So there you are. So you've got this memory now, and you can say, Mom, I got it. I'm thinking of you. And allow yourself to go there, explore that
Yep.
without expectation, without demand, without pressure. Allow yourself to go there on your own terms. Just call it a visitation, if you will. And if you feel like working like this, you will find out that a reading is an expansion of that
Exactly.
knock on the door.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, being able to communicate or receive communication from a loved one in the world of spirit is such a wonderful gift. And as you have on your business card, and as the title of this show is Love Never Dies, right?
Yeah.
And that's why this is such an important aspect of our lives. I wish there were more people who were open to it. Do you agree with me?
Well, I think it's come a long way since I
It
started
is.
reading about it many years ago.
Right,
Always
right.
interested in mediumship. I was like, how do they do that? Because at that time, Sylvia Brown was out,
Yes,
John Edwards was just coming out,
right.
James von Prague was just coming out. This is before Long Island Medium and
Yep,
more of the younger people coming out. And I read a lot of books like Ruth Montgomery, everything by Edgar Casey. You know, I had no idea how this worked. I didn't even know, I didn't expect to be able to do this at all, ever.
Well,
Fascinating.
well, and the interesting thing, a lot of us didn't either.
Yeah.
For me, I was stepping away from a long-term marriage that was unhealthy for me. And I was seeking things to comfort me and guide me. And I walked into a spiritualist church, kind of like you walked into one of the churches. And I too am working towards becoming a reverend. So I know, I understand that. And it's almost as if we get the nudge when the time is right. And only when the time is right. But the holidays is a huge time for loved ones to be here. And you know what is important too? It's the other side of the coin here is for the loved ones who are here to welcome their loved ones from the other side. Whether they set up a place at the table for them, or we put out some sort of memories or something.
Right.
That's it's got to work both ways. Both ways, and being open to it. Being open to it.
And it doesn't have to be, if I may say, doesn't have to be. You don't have to become a medium. What you're called to do is recognize your ability to work with spirit in whichever capacity that is. It could be spirit art. It could be spirit cooking. It could be spirit poetry. It could be channeling. It could be design. Have you ever been inspired all of a sudden out of nowhere? You haven't made an apple pie in 20 years. And all of a sudden you're like, I feel like making an apple pie. That's crazy. Why do I want to do that? You know, and maybe you'll just run out and buy one and eat it rather than making it, but you're being inspired. You know, you may be being inspired by spirit. So spirit may use you in some service or another to bake for someone, to draw for someone, to design jewelry, to do pet portraits, or to be pet communication in all sorts of ways. Spirit flower arranging, spirit talks to us in those ways. So the inspiration is a magnificent thing.
And that's an important word. That's a very important word, especially if you're busy and, you know, spirit's just not able to connect with you. And all of a sudden you quiet down and it's like, oh, I like that idea. Where'd that come from? Yeah, very much so. Very much so. And I know at this time, a lot of people are missing their loved ones. That's another huge part of this experience. The memories are coming forward because we're missing them.
Right.
And the virus isn't helping any. So it's a gift. Isn't this a gift that we're talking about when memories come forward? And we're able to smile, or we're able to get a few tears out because we miss the person.
One of the most remarkable experiences I've had, and maybe you've had this as well, Pamela,
Sure.
Is doing platform in a church setting. And we would have divine light service. I don't know how they're doing it this year. I have to find out. But it would be packed. Our church would be packed. And you'd stand up there and you'd realize that there's a lot of spirit. You may not be able to see each one, but you can feel them. And you know they have all gathered here because you walked in the door. And if you weren't in that seat, they wouldn't be here. So we may not be able to physically go to our churches right now, depending on where you live. But these events like this, Zoom, your family and spirit is here. They're here because you're here.
Well, yeah. And right now we can visually see there's 4 of us here joined together, but there is multiples beyond that.
Yes.
Because they're thinking, maybe I can get a message through tonight. Yes. Maybe Carolan will sense me, or maybe Pamela will pick up on this, or maybe maybe my loved one will catch it, because everyone who is here right now is sensitive, right?
Yeah.
Is sensitive to spirit in some way or another.
Except that we have an expectation. If you don't do this all the time, you have an expectation of how it should go. And everyone that comes to me speaks a little differently. Some of them will send you the taste, some of them you will smell, some of them you will see, some of them you'll hear. You know, every communicator is different. Some are really good. Most of them are really good at this,
Yes,
and they work hard at it. Some are not so good. So you got to help them a little bit. But if we're waiting for ourselves, if I'm Lori and I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for my father to come through and I'm not getting him. We usually ignore the signs because we don't know what to look for. It can be very subtle. Either spirit is like a hammer through a window or they're very subtle. So, you know, we have to learn to pick up the signals, and we just have to be open. It's not going to be your way. It's their way, the way they're going to communicate. And they may play a joke on you. You know, they may hide your keys, your socks. They may leave a penny over here or a quarter over here, or they'll have you drive past a billboard or put a song on the radio and it'll come on. You know, you know what gets me is Christmas music. It just knocks me out. I'll tell you, I can be driving to the store and the next thing I know, I got tears rolling down my eyes. Hearing Bing Crosby will do it to me. And I think Christmas is past. And Christmas is so different now, you know, it just puts a tear in your eye. So I know they're around me just by hearing that.
And you have a spouse on the other side, is that correct?
Yes, I do. I have two spouses over there. I have an ex-husband and I have my second husband passed away.
Oh my goodness, so you have two. And do each one of them have a specific little clue to give you that they're around, or they do something different each time?
Well, the second one is pretty much involved in my mediumship. He's nosy, likes to be, because it kind of kicked off after he passed away is when I became interested.
Awesome.
In the subject. And the other one will come through. And that's another gift of mediumship. I was able to speak with my mother through another medium my mother passed when I was 7. So I was able to finally talk with her. Medium. And now I can talk to her myself. Same thing with my husband. We had a lot of unfinished business. I mean, he had a heart attack on the train. So it was like no unfinished stuff, you know, and a lot of people lose people that way. Everything's not finished. You know, life is continuous. So sometimes we don't get to say goodbye, or we don't apologize, or we don't make amends, or we don't do what we're supposed to do, you know? So mediumship gives us that opportunity. Try to make things right, for them to make things right with us, and for us to make things right with them. I mean, what a gift.
It's healing. It's exactly. It's very healing.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting. You know, I too work, you know, with evidence when I'm doing the reading, you know, a number of different pieces of evidence. But when a loved one shows up just for me as a message, often I'll just hear their name, or I'll get a very short snippet. My dear beloved father, he's been gone, October, it was 5 years. And it took him a little while to start communicating. That was okay. It was okay, because everybody has their experience. One of the first things that came through to me was KFC. He used to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. He lived alone, and it was an easy meal, and it was somewhat healthy, let's put it that way. And it's also comfort food, we call it. Yes, and at times I'm looking for something a little comforting, and all of a sudden I hear KFC. I says, "Oh, Dad, you want to go to KFC with me? I'll glad to go. We'll go together." And it's interesting the different ways they come forward to let us know they're here. I mean, who would have ever thought that was a big deal, KFC? But I also know for a fact this home I'm living in here in Sedona, Arizona, my father helped guide me to find.
Oh, how nice.
Oh yes. He was a man who worked with property. He had a number of pieces of property he bought over the years, fixed them up, sold them, rent them, whatever. But And that's what I want to say too here. Yes, mediumship, receiving communication, however that comes through a song or it comes through KFC for me. It's like, oh, hi, thanks, Dad. It's not just healing, but it's comforting. It's so comforting, especially in these days. Especially in these days. So, um, I'm not sure if we want to see if we can get anybody wants to ask any questions here tonight, Carolan. Are you open to that?
Absolutely.
And okay, and probably the best way, Ed wants to stay gray. That's fine. That's okay. But somehow let us know you want to ask a question or share a story. There is a chat, and it's on the bottom of the page. If you click the chat, you can put a little message if you want. For some reason, I'm feeling I'd like to go to Lori because I know Lori a little bit, and she's been around a bit. Ed, we'll let you come in next moment, okay? And she's always got something interesting to say. So go ahead, Lori.
Well, this will be the first Christmas without Mom, so it's strange. Do I feel like decorating for Christmas? No. Will I for the grandkids? Probably do something. Yeah. It's a strong. I will do something. I'm not really super sad. I mean, I'm sad she's gone, but it's more of a relief because I was taking care of her. So I hope she has a good Christmas upstairs. Not sure how to handle it this year.
May I add something in here, Lori?
Sure.
When did she pass?
Saturday.
Very new. Very new. It's only a few days. And you're still adjusting to it all.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Right.
It's very strange. I mean,
Carolan?
I miss the caregivers. I miss the routine.
Oh gosh.
I miss talking to somebody.
Right. Anything you'd like to share with Lori on the fact that she's only recently lost a loved one?
That's the hardest thing, and it's so soon for you to be doing this. So, it's okay that your heart's not in it. But fortunately, you have grandchildren, so it reminds you of what Christmas is, and it is about the children. So if you just put up a little something and they come for the day or whatever, and then you are done, you've done your job,
Yeah.
And from now on, you have permission to create Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever it is, New Year's. You can create new traditions now.
Right.
And whether you want to or not this year, that's okay. You don't have to. Why would you feel like it? But in time coming, in the future, you can create. It might be going out for Chinese with a girlfriend on New Year's, or taking it and watching a Hallmark or something or Netflix. That's okay too. It doesn't have to be all the big shebang. We've done all that.
Right.
And so now it's time you're going to reach out probably in the new year to follow some interests that you haven't been able to follow once we get out of COVID and, you're done with your caretaking. Where's your life? What are the things that you put on the shelf that you can dust off? Is it music? Because I get a musical vibe and I get something with hands. So, and I do feel like I'm very well educated if I am you, and I have an interest in either geography or history or something like that. These are the things. What are you going to do with the rest of your life now? And sometimes that's too much. It's too much for us. We're like, I don't know. I've always been a caretaker. I don't know what to do now. But it's okay to take your time.
Right. Yeah, because I did get overloaded and just go, oh my God, a couple of weeks ago. And it was just, everything coming at once was too much. Right. And even though the things I wished for are coming true, I was petrified of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is like way out of my comfort zone and I don't like it there.
Right. I understand that totally. It took me a long time. But you'll find your way. And
Yeah.
what you have to do is you don't have to do everything tomorrow. Enjoy the journey. You're getting a chance. And if I may say, I don't know what the M is. I want to say like Maybelline or Maybell or something. I don't know, or Anne Marie or something like this. I don't know why I want to say this, but I feel, and I want to let you know, she's very comforted. The impression that I get of your mom is that she's very comforted and on being on the other side of letting go. She's like, she dropped, this is what she does. She arrives like by train to heaven and drops her suitcase, right? Like right on the ground. Like, boy, that's heavy. I'm so glad I could drop that. What a relief. She's that kind of person. What a relief.
Yes.
Chatting it up with some girlfriends, and she's got sisters over there or something. She's got some kind of tribe going on and things. She's like, I have amends to make. I have things to do, but I don't care. She said, I'm in the glory and I don't care.
Well, the joke was that my mother could always find a sale. And I said to a friend of mine last night, I said, are you kidding? She found a mall, she found a sale, and she's freaking at it. She's doing things she hasn't been able to do in a long time. And I said, I don't feel anything because she's at peace.
Absolutely.
I'm like, Walter flits in, Walter flits out. And I think mom's just got a lot to do before she comes back to say, hey, I'm good. Don't worry. So.
Yeah, I think she gets to kick her shoes off. She didn't do rummage sales or anything, did she?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. Because she's rummaging around. She's rummage, and she's got this pocketbook and she's stuffing stuff in it. And she's like, there's nothing in there. She goes, I picked something up and put it in there. And there's nothing in there because it's only in spirit. She said, this is cool. I can fit way more stuff in my bag now. So
she was a collector.
She's a collector.
She was a collector.
Collecting memories. See, she collects. I can see a ceramic Christmas tree, the little ceramic tree, and some older things, and some handmade things, and some children's art, and something about grandchildren. She's very well aware of what's going on, and she's like, "You have peace." Brings a rose to you. Have peace. You deserve peace.
Yes.
Thank you for taking care of me. And her nails are done. My nails are done. I don't know if she liked that or not.
Well, she never did, but for her 88th birthday, we put her in a beautiful dress. And I said to her, you could have the orange that matches the poppies on the dress, or we can go with slut red. Which would you pick? And of course, we start laughing, and she picked the orange, obviously. But my sister said, I've never seen her with her nails painted.
Well, they're done over there.
So wait till I tell them that. They will get, and the shopping, my aunt she'll be howling.
She's looking amazing.
That's good. Because I did color her hair before they took her.
Looks
I
beautiful.
put blue and green in her hair. Because I said, I'm going to color it. What are you going to do? Fight me? And I did. I colored it.
Was she brunette?
No, she was pure white. But
in her younger days, was she brunette in her younger days?
No, blonde.
Oh, blonde. Okay. Because she's lighter than me, but I can't really tell. But it's done. I want to say I'm done. My nails are done. My hair. I look amazing. She's like, I look amazing. I look like
because she always wanted to do her own hair and hated that everybody had to come cut it or and wash it, because she always did the pin curls or the curlers, and she did it by herself all the time. Yeah, so I made her do it as long as she could. So
she's got a big can of Aquanet here, so I don't know who.
Oh my gosh! Go along with the dippity doo.
Remember those days? Oh my God! So she's got a lot of love for you. She says, "You put your feet up. You enjoy yourself."
Good, because I'm going to. I have to. Yeah. So I'm going to.
Make yourself an eggnog or something with a peppermint. Give yourself a shot of something if you can do that.
Oh my God, I have eggnog. I forget how good it tastes.
There you go.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you, Carolan. I wasn't weren't expecting a message, although that was exactly what was needed. Wonderful. Um,
My pleasure, my honor, actually.
awesome. Let's see if Ed wants to say anything.
We were
put
chatting
in-
before.
You were okay.
We were,
Um,
him and I. Don't be
Ed,
shy.
Ed, can you mute your microphone? So
There
There
maybe
we go.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're good now. Thank you for your patience. And one thing real quick I want to specifically ask Carolan before we get moving any direction. Since we started a little late, are you able to go over a little bit of time here?
Oh, sure.
So we can get, maybe to like about 1/4 past, so we can get close to an hour's recording, all right?
Absolutely.
And everybody else, hopefully you can hang out too. So Ed, are you connected to one of the churches up there in Massachusetts? Put my
Oh yeah, I'm connected to a lot of them.
Oh, nice.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
I go to Quincy. I go to Derry, New Hampshire. I go to Rhode Island.
Oh,
I used to go to Plymouth. I go to Swampscott.
Okay.
Yeah, we're lucky. We have tons of churches in New England.
Well, and that's where I did most of my training, was Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I was a member of the Quincy Church myself. I frequented the Plymouth Church for a while, also the Onset Church. I don't know if you've been there.
Yeah, I've been to Onset
Okay.
and the
then-
Wigwam.
Right, and served a number of the churches too. So wow, yeah, I had a feeling when I saw you mention Boston area. So okay, so you've got Carolan here. Do you want to ask her a question or share something?
It's like this is like a holiday show, and one of the things is like around Christmas time. I'm the youngest out of 9, and the holidays was always really, really super special for us. My mother went way out, and she she's a working person, and so is my father. They didn't have much money, but they made Christmas so special. Everything, homemade cookies, breads, cakes, gifts for everybody and everybody's kids. And, I'm the youngest out of 9, so everything's changed, everybody's passing. The family got small, the traditions ended. And, you talk about how spirit connects with you. Although all those people are gone now and those times are gone, every holiday like this, I get a burst for like 30 minutes to an hour or something. And all those memories flood me back, and you can feel the love, and it's really nice, and it doesn't matter where I am or what's going on. I've been in combat zones. I'm retired from the military 24 years.
oh,
So I've been in combat zones during Christmas, and each holiday that comes, I can still muster that love from spirit
that's beautiful.
and feel, those old days. So it's nice. But I talk to spirit all the time. I practice in the churches. I've been training with all the top mediums from Europe, and all throughout New England. And I've done demonstrations, so I'm connected to spirit. But right now, with the COVID, everything going on, and everybody in turmoil, I'm kind of my connection's not lost. It's just I'm not getting as connected as I have been in the past years, over this last year, because the turmoil that's going on around me. Because I'm a bit of an empath too, so I feel everything. And it's a challenge to try to, sit down and connect every day. But, I have to try to do it through like breath work or through grounding, and then get reconnected, So that's what about I'm doing right now. Yeah.
May I'd like to say something. Ed, that was important that you mentioned about being an empath in these times. Many of us here on the planet here are empaths and are picking up all kinds of energies, and we don't really understand why. Can you talk a little about that, Carolan? Because I know it from my experience, and a lot of times it comes up in my readings with people. And basically, you've got to discern whether it's yours or it's somebody else's.
I had I trained too. You would probably recognize some of the teachers I've had: Reverend Richard Scholler, Bill Collar, Shauna Spalding St. Clair from Lilydale, all the Lilydale mediums, some from Germany, the UK. All of them came to Sarasota, so I witnessed their work and was inspired by their work. I still am. So there's a lot of churches, Ed, spiritualist churches that have Sunday services online, SNU and some of that, so you can at least participate in that. But the question was about empath. Yes, Shauna Spalding St. Clair was a great platform medium. I trained for platform under her. And she said it's a dying art and you have to embrace it and you have to be the best you can be. You have to be totally on point because this is an art form that's going to die off. And if you don't do it well, you're not doing it any service. So she would be really harsh, but I found my own path. I found my own niche, but I learned from her. If you're empathic, to help other people, you have to learn how to control these chakras. You can't, it's not like if you see someone bleeding in the street, you don't go cut yourself so that you can have something in common with them. You're not supposed to be in common. You're the healer. You're the savior. You're not supposed to bleed, So you got to cut this down. You got to shut it down so that you can help other people. It's not about how you feel. It's about how they feel. So when we walk around like a sponge, and it's happened to me, I have times I'm cranky. I don't know why I'm cranky. I'm picking up stuff from other people. I'm learning this too, whether it's to sage the house, holy water, myself, whatever it is, light a candle, say a prayer, say your prayer protection in the morning, say it when you're working, say it, keep that bubble around you, whatever method you want to use. But to really help other people, we can't feel every time they bleed or every pain or every emotion. But right now, we're going through, from what I understand, a big ascension vibrationally, which is not my bag, but so I've been told. It's not just about politics. It's about everything. It's about everything, and it's affecting everybody. So we're all kind of feeling like we're in a rowboat, like this. So I think that's kind of normal. I think we need to practice our grounding skills better and our prayer skills better. At least that's what helped me. But Ed, you are such a talent. Don't let the distance or COVID stop you from service, because people need to hear you. And so maybe you need to be on this show and do readings, or maybe you need to set up your own Zoom thing. But please, dear God in heaven, don't stop giving messages, because we need you. We really need you.
Thank you.
And Ed, even if you're visiting here at the show, I don't know if the reason that your screen is dark is because of the computer or it's your choice. Because what happens is a lot of us find, at least, okay, I have, okay, let's go from me. I've had to gradually bring myself out in the public eye, okay? And that's a big piece of us doing the work, us being personally and conscious of what we're doing on a personal level. But it's all about when we step into this path of mediumship, serving others, we have to take care of ourselves too. As Carolan was saying, the word that kept coming to me was self-care.
Yeah.
Now, we're stepped on the path here of being a spiritual being, and we're supposed to be teaching and all. So we have to do the same kind of things for ourselves. We have to grow. We have to let go of difficult times, past issues that hold us back. The list goes on. And that's where, Carolan, right on. And one other thing I like to add in there to self-care is a bath with some Epsom salts to cleanse off all that dirt off of our aura, that we pick up from other people. But
Or a
yeah,
shower helps. Shower with some sage soap or cedar or something.
I had a teacher who said, put some Epsom salt and warm water into a spray bottle.
Yes.
If you haven't got the tub, spray yourself down and then wash yourself off with the shower.
Yeah.
I mean, it's same idea. The same idea. But
But
it's
if I may say, Ed, it was so nice talking to you. Before the show, we were kind of connecting a little bit. He was telling me where he was from, and I was saying I was from New York and blah, blah, blah. And it was nice. But I do want to say, you're such a self-sacrificing individual. I can tell that. If you're in combat, you don't put yourself first. You're worrying about, you're helping the guy next to you. And, you always put yourself last. I'm the youngest too. I'm the youngest of 4. And I got to enjoy probably better Christmases than my older siblings did, because there was more about it. They were old enough to contribute too. So I'm a little spoiled, and I miss that. I miss that now in my older age. But what it kind of spurs in me is I can't get too melancholy, because I know somebody needs me to make Christmas for them, even if it's just a card, or even if it's just a phone call, or a message, or an email. It could be anything, running to the store for them. They need me to make Christmas for them. And your tendency is to deny yourself, to take care of yourself last. So please take care of yourself so that you can serve. You have to do this. This is your calling.
I do demonstrations. I've demonstrated for 50 people for 2 hours, and I do church service. But I don't have a website yet. I don't get into the Zoom. One of the reasons I'm blacked out is because I'm a smoker, and I smoke while I'm talking to y'all. So
you can learn.
But
You'll learn.
I do get out. I get out in the public, and I do readings like that. I prefer doing demonstrations in front of audiences rather than private one-on-one settings. I do well with things, but I don't, I still got that funny feeling where I should just be doing the service and not charging. So I don't like those one-to-one settings where, somebody wants to pay me. But, and then if I'm doing demonstrations, people aren't actually paying me, whoever organized it,
right,
paying me. So it's easier to, take that compensation. But, yeah, I love working with spirit. I love being part of that. And I love having a strong circle. I haven't had a strong circle in like 2 years. My circle broke up, people moved.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to find, your tribe, all the time. And we had a circle going for probably 2.5, 3 years. And we're getting into trance and, doing a lot of channeling. And it was a real deal. It wasn't, like you see a lot of people fly by night and think they're channeling and think they're doing trance, and they're really not.
Right.
The energy was unbelievable. It was, I haven't matched anything in it,
Yeah.
It was great. So, but yeah, and that's the reason I saw this advertised today on Facebook, and I'm like, I gotta go check these people out. So it's nice. I'm glad I came.
Well, Ed, what I like to do, I trust spirits so much. I bring them into my life on a personal level very, very often. And, talking about needing a group, wanting a circle, ask spirits to create it for you. Ask them for you to connect with the right people who are the appropriate people. Because what happens is each one of us is at a different level, right?
Yes.
And this one grows and this one doesn't grow. And so it's like things change, the energy changes, and spirit knows that. Spirit knows that. So, Carolan, you offer some circles or groups, do different classes.
I did a trance circle for 4 years, and then the politics in the church shut us down. So we lost our ability to do that. But I did meet privately, in private, and home circles are the backbone of mediumship, as I'm sure you know. And, once we get through this COVID thing, but there's online circles. So, it's a little bit of an adjustment. I went from doing all phone readings from all over the world to doing this. It really hard, and reading, not even talking to people, but reading their questions and having to do the reading. So there's, you're always, one good thing about it is if you trust spirit, they'll help you get through that. They'll help you get through your fear or get through your anxiety about it. They will help you. And, when you're called to do something, you'll do it. When it feels right, Ed, you're going to do it. But please don't shut yourself away, because society needs you. We all need you. We need all light workers, Lori too. We need everybody. You have so much to offer. We all need it. And it's all going to come out in a different way for everybody, right? But we need all those gifts, especially now.
And Ed, make sure you've got a link for both Carolan and
Yes.
myself.
Yeah,
Both of
I
us.
wrote this down here. I wrote them down.
Oh, good. I'd love
Good.
to hear from you. So please,
Good.
find me on Facebook or Messenger, or you,
Yeah,
look at
I
the
think,
website, has my phone number on there. And
I
you-
believe, Ed, you and I are Facebook friends. Not that very long either, from what I'm remembering, because I noticed your name pop up a couple times. You know how we put posts and everybody likes, I like this, or make a comment or whatever. So, but what's happening, like Carolan's saying, we're all finding new ways to get out there to help humanity and to do the work we come here to be a part of. And I want to say that clearly for Lori to be listening, because Lori is very gifted. Very gifted. She mentioned, and I'm sorry, Walter's a son that passed a few years back. Walter's been communicating to her in various ways, right, Lori, huh?
That's because he's pushy.
But he's able to get through to you, right?
Yes. Yes.
And if you and he can do communication, as long as you feel safe and you set yourself up in the right way, as far as, the right conditions and all, you can receive a quality message for somebody else too.
Okay.
Yeah. Carolan, any comments here, Carolan? It's interesting. We've come down mostly talking about students, but another thing we've talked a little bit about is spiritualist churches. And I think we should just mention that, because I don't know, not everybody knows about a spiritualist church, because we're going to be putting this out on YouTube and people can hear it, listen to it from who knows where. And some people don't always know what it's about. It was a gift for me. I know it was. And I'm hearing you say the same thing, Carolan.
Yeah, the church that I went to was called the Shrine of the Master. It is now called Sarasota Center of Light in Sarasota, Florida.
Okay.
Our founder was is Reverend Dorothy Flexer. She was a direct voice medium.
Wow.
And she's was originally a Methodist. Her husband was Dr. Russell Flexer, also very gifted. She is so gifted that she would channel, her recordings have been preserved of her classes where she would bring in St. Francis of Assisi, the president, Saint somebody or other, they're all recorded there. And there's
That's
a couple
my
of
patron
books
saint.
about her. I'm sorry?
That's my patron saint, St. Francis.
Oh, okay, there you go. There's a statue of him in the healing garden there. So they're not spiritualists per se, but we had a lot of spiritualist guests come, because that's who does this kind of work. Dorothy was her own. She coined metaphysical Christianity. She coined that term.
Okay.
So now it's more open. It's not just Christian, it's everything, it's a metaphysical center. And so she wasn't spiritualist per se, but I'm very aware. I have Karen Francis McCarthy as a guest I've interviewed. I've interviewed Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, several Janet Nahevak from New York, New Jersey, Joe Shields, another spirit artist. So they're all spiritualists. I'm kind of the outsider. I'm sort of, but I'm very familiar with the way they work. And the Spiritualist National Union has services on. If you go to their website, any kind of spiritualist organization, they're all doing their things by Zoom or live feed. Our church has been doing it too.
Right.
So, we don't have an audience right now because of COVID. So I don't know if they're going to reopen I got to find that out, for Divine Light, Christmas Eve or not. I know they're having a service. I know it'll be broadcast, but I don't know if there's going to be an actual audience there or not. So did that answer your question? I kind of went off there on a thing, but I can't say enough about Reverend Dorothy Flexer because I've met her in spirit. She was long gone by the time I attended the church, and I've been there around, 12 years, something like that. It really changed my life walking onto this old charming campus. And she had two churches, one in Tampa and one in Sarasota. For many years, they did both of them. And when she came here, the road in front of the church was a dirt road. They built that whole place. She built a whole neighborhood, a healing garden, several buildings, learning center, chapel. She built all of that there. It's quite amazing.
Is this a spiritualist camp?
No, it's a church. It's not spiritualist. It is just a metaphysical church.
Oh,
Yeah, I could send you the link for it, and you can check it out. It's beautiful. It is beautiful.
Well, and basically, I guess what we're both saying, and there are a number of different opportunities for people to connect with people of like-mindedness, whether it's mediumship, they're metaphysically, as you're talking there, because spiritualists, depending upon which branch, I'm going to say. Yes, because there's NSAC, there's
SNU.
Yep, there's I believe an AFC, American Federation too. But everybody has a few conditions, but basically it's about the belief in the continuity of life, the belief that our essence survives and then that we can communicate. We also, believe in the, what's the term I want to say it, do unto others as
The golden rule. Yeah.
Yes, the golden rule. And also healing gets involved into some of this too. And, whether it's something you train for a Reiki or whether it's purely hands-on healing that you learn within the church. I mean, all of these, I'm going to say they're higher vibrational items that people seek out at some time in their life. And they're so hugely beneficial to all of us. They're just
it's a place to find, you can be an observer. You don't have to sign the line and dotted line and join anything, but you can learn there and you can be an observer and you can meet kindred souls. So, and you can see some of, now that everybody is on live feed or Facebook or however they're doing it, Zoom, you can see some of the best mediums in the world right now for nothing. And you don't even have to leave your kitchen. It's really cool. So you watch other shows, you watch Pamela's show or my show, or you join in on a Sunday service online. Can't beat it. You don't even have to get dressed, Ed.
Wonderful.
You don't even have to show your face.
I go to two churches every Sunday. I go to Janet's church, and then I go to either Quincy or Salem or Quincy or Salem. There's another one. I think it's Bridgewater or Bill Ricka. But I go to at least two churches every Sunday.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, it really makes a difference, doesn't it, Ed?
I like it, and I study the speakers and I study the medium, so I like it on the Zoom better because I can take notes and stuff. Because I like to not judge, but almost dissect, how they do their mediumship and also how they're being inspired to speak. And speaking of this, this is something to see real inspirational speaking. I went to this funeral service, and it was a Catholic service, and the priest, he had Tourette's, so you couldn't understand him throughout the service. You had to like really focus to try to understand what he was saying. But when he did his sermon and his inspirational speech, his voice became perfectly clear. It was
Wow.
like it was being channeled through spirit. You could see spirit in him. And when in the back of the church, when he was saying goodbye to everybody after church was over, you could just feel the energy off of him. He was still in that state of mind. But it was amazing to see the switch right in front of your eyes like that, where he could hardly speak and you couldn't understand him till when he inspirationally speak through spirit, it rang like a bell. You know, it was unbelievable. I just got kind of chills just talking about it.
You know, I like to say, spirit takes me and makes me the person I should be, or I was meant to be. If it wasn't for my guide, Walter, and, and God, those are the moments where I really behave myself when I'm working in spirit. Otherwise, I'm just a Jersey girl or a New Yorker.
I mean, and that's all of us, because, we have this persona we have to play on the stage of life. And, society is part of that, and, what we've been brought up. But when we look at our true essence and we go inward, then we all become who we're supposed to be. And that's part of spirit. We are spirit having a human experience.
Wonderful. Perfect to hear that. Thank you, Ed. And Carolan, I was thinking we might be a good idea to start wrapping this up a bit, but I want to give you the opportunity to mention all of the different what's the word I want to say, activities that you have going on. First off, the radio show. How can people connect to your radio show? How could they connect to you if they wanted to? Any classes that you might have coming up that you want to?
I did 4 classes on mediumship for my network, Goldilocks Productions. You can purchase those. They're discounted, of course. They were live shows. So now they're recordings and you can purchase them there. And there's a whole bunch. I started it off, and then other people taught 4 and 5 classes too. So there's a lot of classes on there on the Goldilocks Productions network.
Okay.
If you look at Facebook, you'll see Goldilocks Productions. And that shows all of the shows. If you get on their Facebook page, it shows all of the shows, not just mine, not just Tiffany White's, but all of them. And we have several radio show hosts now. So whatever, and everybody, one lady reads unicorns, I do mediumship, somebody else does numerology, someone else does, the zodiac astrology, but someone else has a live animal sanctuary, things like that. So everybody's different on there. We all have something to offer. So it's kind of great and crazy, but it's enjoyable. So what else did I want to say about that? So that's where all of my stuff is right now. And I don't do, I was going to do YouTube on my own, and I don't have to. My producer sets everything up for me, so I don't have to worry about it.
And then you've got CarolanCarey.com.
Yes, it's CAROLAN, and Carey is CAREY.com. And the latest show's on there, so you can see that.
What night is your show on, dear?
I'm on Thursday nights live, 8:00 Eastern Standard.
Okay. And is there a link on your website to it?
Yes, usually she doesn't give me the link until the night before, to like Wednesday night. Like tonight, I'll be posting that for tomorrow. But I advertise it earlier in the week, or I advertise the last show. I'll do it on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever I can put it. Now I put some stuff on Instagram once in a while. But you can always get me on Facebook. And I'm the psychic medium of Sarasota, SRQ. So you will, I have like 3 pages. I have a group, I don't know why, but anyway, that's how it worked out.
And one more thing I was wanted to ask is, okay. Oh, what is your show about tomorrow night?
Tomorrow, I'm doing mini readings tomorrow. So you can join us in the green room. and type out your question, or whatever. So usually I have a guest. I have had nothing but guests all fall, summer, fall, and now it's my turn. So I'm going to have Psychic Joanne Leo, a friend of mine, is going to do psychic numerology next week, but this week it's me.
So that's a good opportunity for anybody who would like to connect a little bit more.
Yeah, I'd love to
with
have you
some
join
of the-
us.
Wonderful, wonderful. Awesome. Any
Thank you.
questions, everybody? I'm just gonna, and next week here for Love Never Dies, I do a once a month show called Messages of Love from Heaven. So everybody who shows up has an opportunity to get some sort of a message from a loved one who is come with them to the show, as we all do. And let's see what else. Real quick here. Oh, I've got a few guests. Joseph Higgins. He's from Fall River, Massachusetts.
Oh,
He's an author and a medium. He is going to be on the 16th, and I've titled it "Children Reach Out from Heaven." He's got a book that's specifically about the messages from children to parents. He's got several other books that are also very interesting. If you want to look him up, that's Joseph Higgins. And then I'm going to do a holiday show on the 23rd. And then the 30th, I have a wonderful guest. She's an author of a number of books, a medium, Elaine Kosmeskis. You might like to look her up if you're not familiar with her, Carolan. She's a wonderful, wonderful medium and a wonderful author. And we're going to be doing, she's got a book called Healing with Spirit. So
Nice.
we're going to be talking about her book.
Great.
So everybody, thank you for being here so much, Carolan. And glad we got the recording going. And thank you, Ed, and thank you, Lori, and anybody else who shows up. And I want to thank all our wonderful helpers who came in tonight, and for everyone to stay safe, whatever that means.
Yep.
And be healthy, be well, and have some wonderful holidays, because we're in the holiday season here now. And our loved ones, they're here, right, Carolan? They're in our memories.
Absolutely.
They're sitting at our table. They're joining us for a sing-along. They're here with the family, and they want to be here because they love us. Love never dies. So thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you very much.
Nice
Have a
meeting
good night.
everybody.
Welcome till next time.
Okay.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.